I know. I haven't opened any of his Snapchats. He was like, "Can we fuck?" And I was like,
Wow.
"No,
Wow. You
no."
know what? Zach's also still trying, man. Still. New numbers, everything. I just cannot. I'm gonna have to change my number, but I really like my number because it's easy.
I know. No, I've had my number for so long that I don't think I would change it. And the thing is like,
So
now that I'm like overcoming my daddy issues and I just I just don't have like the same attraction. I just have no longing to let these men ever touch me again in my life.
I don't know how I wanted you at one point. You were in me at one point. Damn it. What did I do that?
Oh, God, it's so awful when like you regret it. You're like, why? Why? And that's why I like like why I took like a hiatus from having sex for like a minute. Like, cause
Still am.
yeah, no, and now like my reasoning for wanting to have sex is just like completely changed, you know?
I know.
And I just don't long for these men the same way I used to, as much as I
Oh,
used
yeah,
to.
no, I
I
know.
just
I
don't.
can tell you definitely like changed in that way. Like just manage.
Yeah. No, I just like, well, because I went after, I was pursuing relationships that I knew weren't fulfilling.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? I was in them the whole time and was like, I'm lacking these, this thing, this, just like constantly lacking, and then just not, I don't know, I guess just not being in relationships for the right reasons or having sex for the right reasons, which I don't even know if there's a right reason. I think there's just reasons you have sex, and the reasons that I was having sex have just like changed. I just don't have the desire. I just don't have the desire to let fucking men that I'm half attracted to with fucking hairy asses and backs of their fucking legs and gnarly fucking toenails that are like on God attractive, ashy ass fucking me, crusty toothbrush motherfuckers. Like, just to try, just because I want to get like a nut, and then I don't even get a nut, not even coming, and having these thoughts repeatedly in my mind, like, why am I doing this? What am I getting out of this? I'm not getting any, I'm not really even attracted to this person. I'm not fucking coming. I'm gonna have to fucking off, like finish myself off after they leave, not to the thought of them. So like, why am I doing this? And then I just now it's been months.
Nice. I'm proud of you.
I mean, we're still coming, but alone. I don't need a plus one. It's just
Yeah, you did say it's always
me,
quicker.
just me and me, me and Buzz.
Me being buds. Oh God.
But I can put that in my carry-on, so I don't even need an extra ticket.
Good God.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I think I pursued a lot of shitty ass fucking men because something in me was like, I can change them. And if I can change them, that proves that I'm worthy and that I'm worth loving, because my father did not do that for me. And I've spent 24, maybe 25. It's been a recent like hurdle for me, trying to like replicate and fix the relationship with my father.
Oh, I know.
They're the dicks that I suck.
Just, you know,
Very Freudian theory.
and on like this whole deal with Z, because we're gonna have to blur his name out in the beginning. Cause that's kind of
No, you'll be creeping. We
probably.
know y'all all be creeping.
But it's like it's funny that you say all that because the same situation with me and Z where I'm like, oh, I don't want him, but like, I just want him to want me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of give you a little attention, and then I'm gonna just stop talking to you every time. And then I'll just, every time you get a new number, I'm like, oh, I could fuck with him. And I'm like, no. Because then I'm like, yeah, I do know you want me. You say it every time.
Yeah, but you also know that he doesn't want you for the right reason.
Yeah.
It's just like how our dads told us our whole lives, I love you. I would do anything for you when they would talk to us every couple of years. Like, just, very unfulfilling male relationships over here. You know, and I don't know. I don't think my dad's ever been like a prize turkey ever since the beginning. I don't think he's ever been it. I don't know. My mom and dad divorced when I was super little, like 4. And I don't have a lot of memories with my dad, but I just always knew that like dad was scary. Dad was mean, and don't piss dad off. And my dad did a lot of fucked up shit to me when I was a baby that I don't even fucking remember. What about you?
Well, I was like what?
Oh, what? Yeah, we're about to. Well, oh my god, like so fucking much. But we're sisters. We have different dads, and I knew your dad for like less than 2 years. I have a couple memories with him, but I don't think. Have you ever even met my fucking?
I met him once, and it was when Ethan went in with him for like a month.
Yeah, no, because my dad's just never been fucking around. But I was never really around in his our mom and your dad.
They were never married.
Yeah, and they were together briefly, but you would go and like see him, but me and Ethan weren't really a part of that. So I don't really know your relationship dynamic with your dad other than it's shit. And, and you know the same for me. You know, probably a little bit more stories about my dad.
Yeah.
Just because that motherfucker was fucking something else. Well, crackhead motherfucker.
Yeah. What was like one of the first memories that just like kind of traumatized you from
that I like really, like I said, I always remember being really scared of my dad when I was little, and I don't have like a lot of memories, but mom said that like when she would go off to work because he didn't work for a while, like she would come home and I would be in the same diaper, just like shit it through. Fucking, he made me eat ash one time because I got into the fireplace and I was like a baby. Like he was fucking
because of his fault for not watching.
Yeah, he was a piece of fucking shit. So I imagine that by the time that I was 4 and 5 and really started like remembering things, I already like had that fear of him instilled in me. But I remember after mom and my dad split up, mom stayed in Elko with me and Ethan. You weren't born yet. She hadn't really started dating your dad, I think. And no, she had, because we had already moved in Double Dice. But I don't know if she was pregnant with you yet or you weren't born yet. But my dad had moved back to Colorado and me and Ethan went to stay with him for a summer in Rangeley. And at that point, he was like full blown doing meth, but we didn't like really. I was like 5 and Ethan was 3. So I didn't know. I just knew that dad was like different and like things were weird. There was some weird ass bitch and her weird ass 3 fucking kids. And like, it was like super shitty. Like we would walk, it was like this 2nd story apartment and you would walk in and there was this like little round table with 4 chairs, kind of how mine is. And there was like the little kitchen area and then open living room. And whenever we would eat dinner, me and Ethan would have to sit on the floor in the kitchen and like fucking wait for everyone else to finish eating. And it was always like Vince and we'll call her Abby. Vince and Abby would like sit in the living room with those like TV dinner set things. And Amanda's 4 kids, she had 4 kids because they would all sit at the table and me and Ethan would wait. And they were having macaroni. We were having macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. And like Abby and Vince got to eat like their hot dogs on buns, but the kids had theirs like mixed, like hot dogs cut up and mixed into the mac and cheese. And one of the kids, I don't know fucking which one, but at some point, one of the kids had dumped fucking ketchup into the pot of mac and cheese and hot dogs. And so when it was me and Ethan's turn to eat, I was like upset. I was like fucking pissed. I was crying. And like Vince was like yelling at her kids. And I like didn't want to eat it because it was just like nasty. It was like the whole fucking bottle of ketchup. And I remember like being at the table with like the bowl and him just like being in my face, like screaming and hitting the table and just like screaming, like, you're gonna fucking eat it or you're gonna starve. Like, you're not, like, there's nothing else. You're not getting anything else. And I just didn't want to eat it. And I was crying. And I remember him like picking up the spoon and like shoving it into my mouth when I was crying. So my mouth wasn't like open. That shit like hurt my fucking tooth. I just remember being so scared that I fucking ate all of it while I was just like crying. And I think when I told you this story, a little like we had kind of talked about this like before. Like I just like burst out in tears because it's always something that like I've always thought about as like in a joking way, like, oh, that's why I don't like ketchup. Like, so that's like such a fucked up like way, but like I literally just I don't like ketchup on anything.
Oh yeah, no.
And it's like
eat ketchup.
I won't. And then like it's not just because like I'm traumatized and like yeah, literally every time that I see ketchup, I like always have like a little thought of that. You know? And that's like so fucking weird because it's something so small yet like I like constantly reminds me of like the shittiness. So you gotta be fucking good to your babies and good to your fucking kids. But yeah. So I don't like ketchup now because anytime I fucking eat that shit, it just like I just like taste macaroni cheese. I don't know how to fight. It's just I don't like fucking ketchup. I think that's just disgusting.
Well, yeah. Well, at least when you visited your dad, well, no, not at least, but I mean, I at least, I don't know. I kind of fended for myself when my dad and I saw each other, you know.
Yeah. Did you also live off of macaroni and cheese and hot dogs? Because that was
I don't remember
how to make.
I don't remember what I ate.
Oh,
yeah.
I think a lot of mac and cheese and ramen.
I'm pretty sure it was just sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking sandwiches.
Yeah.
Because your dad lived in like Idaho and Montana, and you would go to Washington to see your grandparents and shit. So I remember you being gone for like the whole summer when we would go.
Yeah, but I was mostly with my grandparents. Safe to say that was like my safe place. I don't know. I find like really sad that they like moved out of the house. That was like my getaway.
Was that the house that we went and visited? Like I remember me, Mom, and Ethan going to Spokane with you to visit your and your grandparents.
I'm pretty sure they were in the house for a long time. So I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was with them most of my summers, and then I would go see my dad for like a week, maybe two. Didn't really spend much time with him though.
Like you would go like you would go wherever he was living, or he would come out and visit you.
No, I would go stay wherever he lived at the time. He's moved a lot. God, I can see like 6 different houses.
But oh my God, that was with my dad too.
Oh yeah, but there was one time I went and visited him. Had no idea like where I was. I think it was somewhere in Nevada or something like that. But it was on a place I knew.
How old were you? Because I was like 6, almost 7-ish when we moved from Elko to Meeker. So you were like 2.
Mm-hmm.
You were like
I would say I was, God, maybe, I don't think I was 11. I remember that because that summer I was with my grandparents.
Was it when I was like gone? I was gone? Oh, okay. So you were like older.
It was like when you very first kind of went away.
No, because
a couple years.
I was like barely 12. Okay, so it was like, yeah, you were.
Wait. I think, yeah, no, you were getting closer to getting out, and I know Ethan was in at that time too.
Oh, shit. Okay, so yeah, you were older.
Yeah, I was around like 10 through 12. I can't remember.
Oh, isn't it crazy that like that's so hard to pinpoint sometimes?
I don't
I
remember.
don't know. I have like
Yeah.
a lot of significant things like in my childhood that like help me pinpoint how old I was with shit. But it's all like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't know exactly what age.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I don't, like I say, I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I don't remember dates worth shit. I'm not good whatsoever. Yeah, no, he would just, that week, I remember he just like, he didn't take off work or anything. And, I didn't see my father like every couple months or every week or whatever. It was like every year or every couple of years. It wasn't
Yeah,
like every year I got to see him.
you barely got to see
Yeah.
him.
And he couldn't even like take a week off of work to actually spend a couple of days with me. So I stayed by myself at his house. I had no idea where I was. Although I guess in a way it was kind of nice, but it was just like, man, I was still little.
What kind of TV did you watch TV?
I
I would
watched,
watched a lot of TV.
I think I was more on YouTube, just constantly going through YouTube like your child now. But yeah, no, I think it was just mostly like sandwiches I lived off of until he got back, and then I was like spend a couple hours with him. Hey, how you doing? He'll cook a little bit of dinner, and then night time.
Dude, it's so crazy to me, like how people can go years without seeing or talking to their kids.
Oh yeah,
Like
no,
I go a couple days without, seeing my son when he goes with his dad, and that shit's like
what's he
rough.
doing? How's he doing?
Yeah, like, and it's hard to imagine that he has like a whole life outside of me that I'm not like a part of. Like I know things about it. Like he tells me about it. I talk to his stepmom and his dad, but like I'm not there. Like he's building all these memories, and he has like a whole other
World.
part of his life that I'm not a part of. Like really in any capacity, and that's wild to me.
Oh yeah, no.
It would I could never imagine not knowing what's going on in his life. You know what I mean? Like,
He's not even my kid, and I couldn't even imagine not seeing him for like a week.
yeah, dude.
Mm.
And like, ugh, I couldn't imagine, like, my son is 5, which is about like, which was the age I was with that catch up thing happened.
Mhm.
And like that whole summer was just like the summer of fucking hell. Like, and my dad had left, like, my mom, or like, my mom left my dad, but they ended up, like, they got divorced, and he, like, started doing fucking meth and immediately started fucking banging some meth head who didn't take care of her fucking kids. And, like, it was just, like, crazy because I could never imagine not seeing my son, and I could never imagine putting my hands on my son, like, in the way that my dad did, or like in any capacity. Because you know me, I don't like, I'm not a spanker. You know what I mean? Like we got spanked as fucking kids. I was like spanked in like a punishment way. That was like, it's not what I choose to do now, but I don't say that my mom like abused me and beat the shit out of me because I got spanked. But on the other hand, like my dad straight up abused me and Ethan, like beat the living fucking shit out of us. Like that same summer, I remember, like, there was like 2 bedrooms. There was their bedroom, the kids' bedroom, and we were never in there because I don't really fucking remember that room. But I just know that they had to have had like a place to stay, or maybe they went to their dad. Because I remember the kids sometimes, but not really like a lot. So I don't really know. But
Not allowed in there.
yeah, I don't know. I don't ever really remember another bedroom because me and Ethan always had to sleep in the living room, like on the floor on the couch. But she had 4 kids, and I imagine they had to stay somewhere. But I only remember like the kids like a couple times, but we were only there for a couple weeks. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of memory of the kids, but I imagine they maybe had to have a room for them to stay. But I remember for sure that Abby, quote unquote, and Vince had like their own room. And I remember because I was 5 and Ethan was 3, he would constantly put us down for naps. Like, like there was like a big sliding glass door that led out onto the patio, and that was kind of like the window for the living room because it was this teeny ass little apartment. And like the shades would always be drawn, and like every so often they would like put me and Ethan down, like me on the couch and Ethan on the recliner, be like, throw on some TV and tell us like to take a nap. And Ethan's like 3 and I'm 5, so we would maybe take like one nap a day, if so. And he would like putting us down for naps like several times a day. And now that I'm like older and can kind of like understand what was going on, I think that motherfucker and Abby were going into the fucking bedroom to fucking smoke meth. And they'd be like, stay out here and fucking take a nap. And even at 5, I knew better. Like I knew by the way he walked, just like I knew how to be around him. And my little brother is 3 at the time and he has Looney Tunes on. And we were watching it and I knew we were like being quiet and Ethan started like fucking around and made like some noise and I could hear just like something slam and just like ding, 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 just like fast, heavy footsteps. And I rolled over like in the couch towards like the back where you sit and pretended to be fucking asleep. And Vince came out and just like grabbed Ethan and started like shaking his ass up against the fucking like recliner. And I like started freaking out and crying and he picked me up by like my shirt and my pants and like fucking like threw me into like the top of the fucking couch. And later that day, mom had called and I remember like sitting on the floor on the side of the couch and Vince just right next to me. Don't fucking say that. Don't fucking say that. And as soon as we got home, mom fucking knew, dude, like that we had been through some fucking shit. She knew right then on the phone that something was weird. Like mom already, like she just knew because she knew how Vince was. Like she watched him like smack my older sister in the face with the door when she was like real little because she was crying and in timeout. And so she was in her room and she was like crying under the doorway and he fucking knew it. Or maybe he fucking did it and it's just a piece of shit, but he opened the door hard as shit and fucked her face up. And I like was talking to mom and I was like, why would you have kids with someone like that? I love you, but what in the fuck? What in the fuck? Like, that's wild to me. Because my son pisses me off. And I work with a lot of kids, you know, and that shit can be frustrating. Kids can be frustrating. People can be frustrating. I can never imagine in my fucking life, like,
hurting,
shaking a child or throwing a child or yelling or screaming at a child or, you know, like, that's fucking wild to me. You know, like, I want to blame it on the meth because now I am, like, know that's what was going on at the time. Because it didn't take long for everyone to find out that Vince was, like, smoking meth. But at the time, not knowing what it was and looking back, I wanted to blame it on that. But he was like a piece of shit like that forever. And it makes me wonder, like, why and how. And if you hate fucking kids, why would you have 4 of them?
because men don't know how to pull out.
Truth. But there's fucking piece of shit moms, too.
Yeah.
That shit's even wilder to me. That shit's even wilder to me.
Yeah, because, like, as you become a mother, don't you, like, gain those, like, motherly instincts and, like,
You think for yourself? I don't know. It did for me. You know what I mean? Like I love being a mom. My son is my fucking everything. You know, I could never imagine just not caring about my son or doing anything like that to my fucking son. But there's like fucking moms that are out there like that, just like there are fucking dads. And you know, but there's also fucking people like our stepdad that take on other people's kids. Like I was 15, Ethan was like what, 12, 13, and you were 10?
I think I was 9.
Yeah, no, because I was 14, yeah. And you were 5 years apart because I was 14. And he came into our lives when he was 21. Mom's just cougering. And he's fucking still a part of our lives fucking today, even though our mom and him aren't together anymore.
Oh, yeah. No.
Like he has been definitely more our dad.
I consider him my dad more than my dad.
Yeah, no, wasn't there a time that like you like fucked with your dad about Chantry adopting you?
So I was just about to start the job that I just quit, and like I needed a car. So
well, because you had been using mom's car for a little bit.
Yeah, and she
we had the moped at the time. Why didn't you just take the moped? Yeah, dude, I got the moped when I was 18. Moped's older than Anchor.
Hmm.
Yeah. You could have just wrote Cupcake.
I feel like there wasn't anything that we had though at that time. So was it maybe
Your Lamborghinis, your Tacomas,
that's not funny.
your Toyotas.
It's not funny. Just stop. It's not don't.
Your Subarus. Oh,
I hate you.
but anyway, you needed a car, and Chantry was gonna help you, or
No, so I was like, well, maybe I could ask my father, since this man hasn't paid like child support since I was like
child.
2.
Chantry, my dad hasn't paid child support since I was 7. He hasn't had a license.
Well, I mean, he pays a
He
little.
hasn't paid child support.
He pays a little bit. And how much is it?
Oh, since my dad's been in prison, my dad's been in prison for a while. And my mom, she got 84 cents in child support last month. And it's the most child support she's gotten since I was like 7, 8.
It's like the most child support I think she's
Yeah,
done.
because my dad has had a job, and then he'll get a job for a couple months. My mom will get like one random fucking child support check every couple of years, and then just not. He's like, because he's out here fucking smoking meth and selling stolen goods at the pawn shop until he gets caught and thrown in jail.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's where our brother gets it from.
I mean, learned behavior. Anyway,
so back to the whole dad thing. But no, so
you were like, hey dad, you owe $13,694 in child support, and that is the exact amount I need for this new car.
it wasn't even like a new car. I was like even just thinking about getting one like off a Facebook Market or something, just
So you were asking for much.
like a $2,000, $3,000 car, And I was just like, hey, so I'm gonna be getting a job, and this was just like your text message at first, and I was like, hey, I'm getting a new job, like any way you could like help me out with trying to get like a car. And he texts back and he goes, so I can give you $100 in the engagement ring that I was gonna give to your mom, and you can pawn that and get the money from that and get a bike. He's like, and a good quality bike. And I was like, what if I get a job all the way down next to our mall? You think I'm gonna be biking every damn day?
Yeah, so you could get fucking kidnapped while you're biking the 7 miles fucking home in the middle of the night.
I was like, you got me messed up. And so after that, me and him kind of got into it about that, and it was just, I kind of left it alone. And then
did he end up giving you $100 in the engagement ring though?
No.
Wow. So he couldn't even make good on his fucking deal.
And this is probably why.
You're like, thanks, bitch, you still owe me a fucking bike.
Yeah, since mine got stolen out of our garage.
I didn't know. Get a bike and we can go mountain biking together.
I'm not a big.
You better. I'll get a hold of.
I don't know.
I'll get a hold of Dan myself.
I would do mountain biking, but after my 4-wheel accident, I'm not a big vehicle rider in mountain thingies.
Okay. Okay, so I heard you're a pussy. Moving right along. So
I had the 4-wheeler almost fall on my head. It was like that. I literally flung off of a mountain with a 4-wheel. And it landed barely like an inch above my head. Somehow. It was like,
yeah, but you survived. You can't go through 2 free accidents.
Well, you're lucky. You look very beautiful today. Or else Tristan would have had a nice face plant.
Oh, God. Right. Tristan. So anyways.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't get the engagement ring. You didn't get fucking $100.
No. But, what me and our awesome stepdad did is, for some reason, our stepdad comes up with the best, some of the best ideas, Some of them are stupid, but we love him for it. But this one was great, and I was just like, he deserves to have like a little bit of a shock to his life real quick. And yeah. And Chacha goes, well, what if we like send him a ultrasound? And he was like, I could find a good one online and just like crop your name onto it and the date and all this. And I was like, okay. And the best thing is, like, Chantry was
How old were you at the time?
I was like 16, like 15, 16. Like I was just
Oh my God,
starting.
you were a child.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
the best thing is, like, mom and grandma were like even like okay with it too. They were just like, do it. And because we were at the Stand Drive house and we were at the table, and Chantry was there, mom's there, grandma's there, and I'm there. And I think even we were watching Anchor, I believe. I think we were also watching Anchor. So I
Was probably at work or something.
yeah, it was. I think we had him, and Chantry. That's when he brought it up, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so he like went online, did all that, switched everything, and then he like sent it to me, and I like sent it to my dad, and I get a call, and I'm like, oh God, like anxiety rushing. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't think like he was actually gonna respond.
And he like, oh, so you do see my text messages,
Yeah.
you piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh my God, no, that wasn't even for like that whole reason about the car or anything. This was because I had found out that he came to Colorado and didn't say anything to me, not even a call of like, hey, I'm in Colorado for work, but I can't stop by, but I just thought I'd let you know. And so I was pissed. I was like low key hurt because I was like, you couldn't even like send a text or anything.
You had an opportunity that you could have seen me and you just didn't even care enough to try.
Yeah, like you are literally.
I could have come down to see you, maybe. Like, I could have met you wherever you were at. Like,
This was just like a couple weeks after that whole asking him about like just helping for a car. And so like I was even like more pissed. And because I'm like, if you can afford to like come down to like this other, my city or my state, but you can't afford to help me out with a car, I was like, screw you. Like, that's
yeah, you piece of shit.
yeah. And like I sent him that. He like called me and he like was like, oh my God, like it's gonna be okay. You're so young, but we'll get through it and all this stuff. And I was just like, no, actually, I'm not pregnant. But I was like, I heard that you were here in Colorado, and he was like, oh yeah, yeah, I was on a work trip or and this and this, and I couldn't stop by. And I was just like, funny. That's funny. You couldn't even like
Let me know.
you couldn't text me or call me and say, hey, how you doing? Fuck you, fuck off, nothing. You just said nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, so then I brought up the
How long had it been since you had seen your dad before that?
oh God. Probably years. That's all I can say. Couple years. Probably a few years. Yeah.
And like, there wasn't really anything like big that happened for you and your dad to fall off. Like, did it just kind of like gradually, like he just like, or was there some kind of like event that kind of
Ours, like
what had
I
happened?
kind of like stopped putting in a lot of effort because I was always the one calling him. I was like the only one ever really calling him, texting him.
How often were you guys talking?
Not not a lot, but like I remember like when I was even like little, like there was a couple of times that he had like called, but I was always the one asking him to call. I was like, can I call? Can I call dad? Can I call dad? And it was that, but like as I got older,
Yeah, you were
I
like,
didn't get calls.
nice.
Yeah, no, I didn't really get calls. And
But you start noticing that shit.
you were there for this one time, and he had just happened to call me, and this was years that me and him hadn't seen each other or really even talked, and he had called.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when he called, he was drunk as hell.
Yes. Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah. And so,
And he was being wild.
yeah, he was saying some weird stuff. And I don't even really remember what all of it was, but that I think is the last call that I had from him.
That's wild.
Mhm. Yeah. So within all of that, like I had told him I was like after I had told him like
That you were pregnant.
like yeah, like I'm not even pregnant. You ain't gonna help me with none of that. Like at this point, I'm just gonna have the man who's been taking care of me for the last couple of years, like you're supposed to. I'm just gonna have him adopt me. And he flipped his shit. Flipped his shit. And I was like, this is what you get.
Why you don't care about me anyways? You don't care about, so why do you care about having ownership of me when you don't even see me? Because like, you're not my father.
Oh, I know. And then my grandma, she kind of started saying, she was like, well, you're almost gonna be 18. Do you really need to? And I was just like, I'm not doing it because like all that. I'm like, one, why have the last name of a man who's not even taking care of me? You know, I'm like, this man who my mom met at Country Jam has taken care of.
No, it wasn't Country Jam.
Was it?
She met him at a bar.
Oh, I thought it was Country Jam.
Was it Country Jam?
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it was Country Jam. I know it was like some festivity at a bar. Maybe it was a bar at Country Jam, like a bar.
Something.
Thing.
They met him somewhere. But I was like, this man that I'm not even blood related to spends more time with me, does more for me, spends his money actually even on me.
Like, oh yeah, dude, Chantry's so thoughtful. Like, yeah, when he came into our life, I was 14 and I was locked up. I was in a juvenile prison facility up in Denver, and like, mom wanted to do Zoom calls and have him in our like Zoom family therapies, and I was so fucking mean to him.
I remember.
And when I was so fucking mean to him. And when he came up there for a visit, like during Christmas time with mom, I was so mean. I remember him having like a juggalo, like an ICP tattoo. And when you're in facilities, that's considered a gang. And I looked at my mom and I was like, wow, fucking gangbangers now. Like, just so fucking mean to this poor guy. And, you know, I went to a step down facility down here in Junction that I could go to passes, you know, and was able to like form a bond with Chantry because they started preparing for me to come home, and then I fucked that up and didn't come home for another 3 fucking years. But Chantry had spent so much time and money like doing a room for me. You know, green, black, and white were my favorite colors at the time. I loved owls. He painted this fucking dresser for me, black, green, and white, and it has owls. That he made the stencils himself, painted it. You know, because he wanted me to come home and it be like a good, like, welcome. And my dad, the whole time that I was in the system, was like not really there for me because my dad wasn't really in my childhood. Like, after that summer, your mom, or our mom, and your dad broke up and we moved back to Meeker. And that was like my first time really seeing my dad again. And I started acting out a lot as a kid, like that whole year. And we would see dad here and there, but I was just giving mom hell. And I was like, I want to go live with dad. I want to go live with dad. And so she let me go live with him for that summer before 3rd grade. And that was an absolute terrible summer for me. Like, that was the first time I was ever sexually abused, not by my dad, but by somebody that my dad allowed around me. You know, I went through a lot of emotional and physical abuse, and I just, you know, begged mom to come back, and I came back a couple weeks before school start, and just that's when I started having a lot of behavioral problems, but I didn't like tell anybody really what had happened. And my dad had moved to a different house like a couple months later than the house I lived with him in, because it was a 1-bedroom fucking teeny tiny house. And he moved into this house just down the street from the house we lived in that mom had bought. Mom had bought that house on like Cleveland Street. You were teeny tiny. I don't remember. You got it. Yeah, you were tiny. But that was the house that me and Ethan used to play like Spy Kids, and we would jump out of the fucking windows and like run around the house and look at the windows and try to like sneak and peek at mom. And she was like in her room. We would like try to like break into the car and like you know, open the car, or like go like through the back by the weed where we weren't supposed to go, or like climb up.
I'm so glad you guys also did that, because Ethan roped me into that.
Yeah, no, that was fucking shit me and Ethan did when we were kids. Yeah, no, we thought we were clever. We called it the I Team, but it was Spy Kids. Like,
yeah, no, I think you rubbed that off onto him, because then he rubbed it off into me, because me and him on the Summer Glen.
Oh yeah, no, I love jumping out of this fucking we had like a story, and then there was like a half basement, but it was kind of out a little bit. And I would jump out of the fucking window. all
Oh,
sorts of fucking
you got
crazy.
that straight off.
Yeah.
Bro, at one point in time, me and him were a part of like this whole like we would play like zombies and stuff. And he was like, in order to get into the clan, we have to work. Like he took a paperclip, sorry, I just like spit everywhere. But like he took a paperclip and he had like one of those like lamps that had like one of those hot light bulbs, and he put it up against and he's like, we have to like that. And I used to, oh my god,
Scar. I don't know if you remember this, but when we lived in Palisade, on the vineyard during the winter time, I would like watch you guys because I was like 11. So mom would like go snowboarding and shit on the weekends with her roommate, and I would watch you guys, and we would get in our snow gear and we would play 30 Days of Night because I was watching all sorts of fucking TV that I shouldn't be watching. And I was like, all right, guys, grab the fucking Nerf guns. There's fucking vampires outside.
yeah, there was also ghosts outside.
Yeah, yes.
There's
Yeah.
a lot that happened.
I didn't have imaginary friends as a child. I had ghost friends as a child. But anyways,
Which scared the shit out of me.
oh yeah, and I was very, and you know what's crazy is I used to carry around this crazy velvet box. I creeped the fuck out of mom because I had this like little creepy fucking velvet fucking box, and I would keep like these like fucking rocks and crystals and shit in it. And it's so funny because I am the same fucking way to this day with fucking rocks and crystals and creepy boxes. Also, but it started when I was a young fucking child. I've always been a fucking weird bitch, man.
Oh my god, I'm right.
But after that summer, we would go and see, me and Ethan would go and visit Vince on the weekends, and it was just like horrific. I remember us like mostly just being in this room. Like he would constantly have friends over, and me and Ethan would just be like in this room. And for the end of me seeing my dad for several years, there was like a big catastrophic event because like Vince was like very, like he would hit us and push us and throw stuff at us and intimidate us and yell at us and all sorts of shit. But this morning, I don't even think it was morning. It was like the middle of the day, but we had been like laying in bed. I think he must have like been coming down or whatever, but he was in his room fucking sleeping forever. And we knew to like be quiet. But me and Ethan were bored. We'd been laying in that bed for hours. So we decided to like wrestle in the bed. But Ethan falls off the fucking bed. And at this time, I'm 8. So Ethan's 6. And we both immediately got in the bed and pretended like we were asleep. Like we knew, like we were that scared of our dad. And again, thumping stairs or thumping feet, like coming like down the hall. And he comes in there and he just starts like choking and hit like just like blindly like beating the shit out of fucking Ethan and I. And then when mom came to get us, there was like no hiding that shit. And so mom got a restraining order. That's when he had to get drug tested, found out he was like fucking doing meth, all sorts of shit. He like didn't even fight for fucking custody. But a couple weeks after that had happened, I hadn't seen my dad. Mom had like explained to us like, your dad's smoking meth. And we were like, I'm like 8 at the time. I'm like,
You're like, what's meth?
yeah, I'm like, and like, I didn't explain that it's a drug, but I don't really know what a drug is.
Yeah.
Like, and all this shit, and just that I can't see dad anymore. That Vince has to like, he has to get help. He needs to get sober. He needs to do therapy. Like, he has to fucking, deal with some shit because you cannot be beating the fucking shit out of your fucking kids. And he had lived, because Meeker is a teeny tiny town.
Everybody knows everybody.
The town of Meeker. So if you live in town, you can fucking pretty much get to anybody's house on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Like, and my dad lived 2 blocks away. So one day I got on my bicycle because we were like playing hacky sack or something out in the street, and I could see my dad's red Ford truck, and I could see him and his wife beater. Like I knew my dad was down there. And so I got on my bike and I pedaled down there. And I just remember crying and like telling him that I wanted to see him, and going back and begging mom, just like, please let me see dad. Just please let me see dad. Like, even if it's here. And so mom had let Vince come over late at night. And like Ethan wasn't around. I remember it was really late at night. So you guys must have already been in bed or whatever. But Vince sat on the couch and I sat on the floor, crisscross right in front of him. And I remember he had like his hat down. I didn't see his fucking eyes the whole time. He barely talked to me. He like didn't really make a bracelet. He just kind of sat there like this. And I remember I was like making him was like making him this bracelet that said like best dad, you know, because like even everything that he had put me through my whole 8 years up at that time, like I don't know, you look at your dad as like a hero, you know, he's supposed to be, you know, and I think when you're really young and you don't have like exposure to other people's dads, it's like hard sometimes to like understand what a good, healthy dad relationship looks like, you know? And so he was just for a long time like he could do no wrong. And I pitied him, and it was always everyone else's fault and something else, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, and that was the last time that I seen my dad for like another 4 years. Didn't see him at all, talk to him at all, calls, letters, nothing for another 4 years.
Didn't you like write your dad letters too?
Oh yeah, dude, I used to do all sorts of stuff. Like I would always write my fucking dad letters, and then Meeker's super tiny, and my one of my dad's brothers worked at the True Value in Meeker, and Grandma and Grandpa were going in there, and I would go in there every time. And he worked there, and I would first thing I would always do is I'd run up to Uncle Bubba's like desk, because he like worked in like the upstairs little office things, but like it wasn't an enclosed office. It's fucking True Value Maker. It's teeny fucking tiny. It's like fucking 3 stairs and like a little half platform thing, and the desk would be on it. And I would always give him Mom's number because she had the same number for fucking so long. What was it, like 3669029?
Yep.
Like, fuck, damn, dude, she hasn't had that number in fucking forever.
I know.
And I still just immediately. And you know, I would always ask for a number for my dad, and he would always be like, I don't have a number for your dad. You know, and I don't know if he really didn't, or if he just like knew he couldn't give it to me or whatever. But yeah, no, it was sad. I used to always go in there and like
just in hopes that you could see your dad.
Yeah, that maybe someday Uncle Bubba would have a phone number, or that maybe this time I give him the phone number, it somehow gets to Vince.
You never did.
No, I don't know. Or it did, and he just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. What? I mean, I don't know. I guess in a way I can like kind of relate to that. Just because my dad would sit there and like tell my grandma all the time, like, oh, I've tried to contact Rhea. I've called, I've texted.
And you're like, fucking win.
But I'm like, I've had the same phone number for years now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never did. But I'm like, I can't really say that now because he did text me. But I don't know. After all of that, it's really hard to even like want to respond. Just with the fact he's like, hey, Rhea, I'm so proud of you. Heard you're doing good. Yeah, you've heard.
Yeah, Grandma. Oh, which is so funny that he's proud of you and you're doing good, because like, didn't he tell you that like you needed to be doing NASA? And
yeah,
you weren't doing enough, and
yeah,
and like at your grandpa's fucking
yeah. You know, that was the whole thing, because my grandpa had passed like a couple months back, and I finally was able to go up, and we were, you know, doing a memorial, and at first, you know, he had got there, I hadn't seen him in a couple years. And so when he got there, you know, I gave him a hug, you know, it was going okay. And he started drinking. Surprise. So the last time I saw him, surprise. Or not even the last time I saw him, the last time he called. But, like, I remember I was sitting in the living room on, like, one of her recliners. And he, like, came up to me, and he was, like, drunk, and I could tell. I could like tell he was like I was like sitting kind of just like this in the recliner with my phone, you know, and I was like sad and stuff because they had like his pictures going on, like the
you were stuff. So close to your grandparents.
Yeah,
you would go see them every summer because your dad like wouldn't take the time to come see you. You know, like that's who you spent your summers with
Yeah,
them
I'm like, they were like my little safe space, you know?
Yeah, you guys were so
And
close. And you're so close to your grandma. And you were close
yeah,
up with your grandpa up until the day he died.
yeah, and so I also was just like really sad too because, you know, I didn't like get to tell him goodbye or anything. And so when he was just like standing above me and, you know, I could tell he was drunk, I could smell it.
Mm.
And him just like sitting there like, what are you doing with your life? You should be doing like, you should be an astronaut doing this, this, and this. And I'm like in my head, like at that time, you know, I wasn't very like confrontational. And especially like at my grandpa's memorial, I was like, I'm not gonna like get into this because, you know, like this shouldn't even be happening.
What?
And like in my head, I wanted to be like, where are you working right now? What job are you doing? If you want me to be an astronaut, why aren't you an astronaut?
Yeah.
Like that, for some reason, it's like you're pushing your dream job onto me. That's not what I want to do. I enjoyed science when I was younger, but he kept bringing up that NASA shit and me being an astronaut that it kind of like stopped being one of my favorite subjects in school, which sucked because it's like a lot of the subjects in school, they were always ruined by people. And I'm just like, damn it.
No, I've loved lots of subjects. I am not enjoying Spanish, and I've never been a fan of math. And I want so badly to learn Spanish. I think it is so cool to be bilingual.
Mhm.
This just whooping my ass. Whooping my ass. Ah,
Yeah, no.
but the balls at his memorial with other people around to come up to you drunk and tell you that you're not doing enough with your life and this is what you should be doing. You should be taking care of your daughter. You should be calling your daughter. This shouldn't be the first thing that you say to your daughter in years.
Like I don't know how he thought he had like the right to even like really say anything about my life when he didn't even know much about it. Like, you know, and
Wild.
like it was crazy because I like he had like left after me and him kind of got into it and he went out. I didn't even like see him go outside, but I was like so pissed off that I was like, I'm gonna go call mom. And so I like went outside and I called mom and I was like kind of just like telling her about it and I like turned around and I saw him getting out of like his car and he was like smoking a cigarette and I like was like, God, of course he's out here. So I started heading back inside and he was like, who are you on the phone with? Are you on the phone with your mom? Let me talk to her. And I was like, no.
Cringy.
Yeah.
Be cringed by your own dad. Oh.
Yeah, and I was just like, no. I was like, why do you need to talk to my mom? And stuff like that. And he was like,
I want to talk to you.
Yeah. And I was like, you're not talking to my mom. And he was like, well, give me your phone. I was like, I pay for my phone. I bought my phone. You ain't touching my phone. You ain't a parent to me. Sorry. You're not. No, not even sorry, but you're not even a parent to me. You didn't raise me whatsoever. So you trying to act like a parent now is not going to happen, bud. Like it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. The fucking nerve.
Yeah. And then I went back inside and the first thing my grandma said to me, she was like, is he bothering you? That was the first thing my grandma said is he bothering you? And she was like, is he drunk? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she even knew.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like, don't even like try and do that. I was like, not at my grandpa's memorial. I was pissed. Like it still makes me so mad.
Yeah, that would fucking infuriate me.
Oh. I'm like, if I ever see him, I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to hold back. I may just start
Fuck no.
What?
No, it is on site. It is on site. On site.
Yeah, no, I don't think I was like, you know, after one of my friends had just recently lost her father, I was like thinking about it and I was like, you know, maybe I should contact him and all that, you know. I was like, enjoy the people while they're here. But I was like, there's no way I would be able to get back those years that I didn't see him. So he doesn't know my life now. He says he's proud, but I know he's really not because he would be making more of an effort. You know, if he really, really did, he would have showed up for all the stuff that, you know, I wanted him to.
You
that I
weren't there
invited.
for your graduation. He wasn't there. He hasn't been there for anything for you.
He hasn't said happy birthday in years.
I mean, I'm not talking. My dad doesn't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. My dad. I don't think I've ever heard happy birthday from my dad.
I feel
Like
like
maybe I got a couple
times.
birthday cards like when I was like locked up because after that shit, I didn't see my dad again till I was 11, almost 12, because I had fucking gotten my first charge. And my mom was like, if you want to be like your dad, you can go live with your dad. And she dropped me off at his house. I hadn't seen him in 4 fucking years. And he's not twacked out. He looks a lot different. He's got a like little beer gut. So he had quit smoking meth, but he was like a fucking drunk. And it was very disappointing. I spent a couple weeks with him. That didn't go fucking well because like
Shocking.
yeah, no, like he was living with his mom in a trailer with her like husband that was like 20 years older, like 90-year-old man.
Oh my.
And my fucking dad and Uncle Bubba, and like I was sleeping on a couch and it just wasn't fucking great. And my dad was like a fucking drunk and he like went through my diary one time. Like,
Is this like after I got cleared with the meth? Like, was this after he kind of stopped?
yeah, no, because yeah, no, he after that I made that bracelet for him, didn't see him again for 4 years. He went off,
Yeah.
he went to jail multiple times because he would steal my grandpa's fucking pain pills. Like he got a bunch of charges. He was in and out of fucking jail. But then he got sober off meth, I guess, and was kind of doing well. He was still drinking, didn't have a job, but he was living with his mom.
Again, shocking.
Yeah, and fuck. Yeah, no, and he's a grown ass man, and it was rough. And so I moved back with my mom, and it was like a really hard thing for me to not see my dad for years and to fantasize what it would be like to see my dad again. That when I seen him, he was going to be better, and it was going to be this, and just to just be disappointed by him so deeply again. I was like a fucked up kid at this point. I had already been in the fucking pediatric funny farm once or twice at this point. I think this was the second time. I think that this situation I'm about to talk about the second time. But, you know, I'm 11, almost 12. I'm in 6th grade, just started 6th grade, and I'm living with my mom. And my mom's like still working in the oil field, and she has like this roommate. I don't know what to call her. Don't fucking like her. But her name starts with an M. So, yeah, fucking M. M is not taking care of us. We're just roaming around the fucking house. And
Is she our babysitter?
she was supposed to be. She was not.
She was not fitting the babies.
No, I did whatever the fuck. I owned Mel because I fucking found her. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Hold on, wait, before you finish this.
Yeah, I found a 4 like I'm one.
I need to take a hit or Rooney.
Yeah, so I found a 4 in Saskatchewan and I just ran that fucking bitch. So I did whatever I want. I went to go hang out with my girlfriend all the time. One time mom came home fucking early and I was like gone, like doing hoodlum shit with my friends. And mom pulled up with M, was like, get in the car. And I was like, she knew where I was. And she was like, I told you to be back. You never told me you were going to be out here at the park. And I was like, bitch, I'm gonna put you on right now. Like, such a fucking trap, bitch. But anyways, so I decided that I was gonna go through the fucking medicine cabinet and take a bunch of Excedrin migraine before school. I took like one whole pack. I don't know how like there's 9 in there maybe. I don't fucking know, but I took the whole fucking thing and I got to school and I got fucking woozy. I got fucking woozy. And all I know is that they had to take me out of the fucking middle school in an ambulance. And so it was rough. And my dad did not give a shit. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, this was for you. This was like a cry for you for like, I don't know. I was hoping that you would like come rush to my side and maybe like, I just need you, Daddy. And you like didn't even answer my calls when I was in the hospital.
Because we're Delulu. We were very Delulu.
And I'm like, you know, my 11 and a half year old brain did not was not functioning fucking well, man. I was very, and so that sucked. And then after that, I was like, I want to go live with my dad. I want to go live with my dad. And so I went and lived with my dad. That did not go great. My first time coming to visit my mom, I dyed my hair pink, and she gave me my phone because when I went to go live with him, she took it away again. And she was like, I'm worried about you. I know how your dad is. I want you to have a phone. I want you to have a way to always get hold of me. So I come back and I'm like, I got to keep this phone hidden. I know he's going to freak out to talk about it. And he immediately freaks out about the fucking pink hair and immediately goes through all my shit and finds the fucking phone. And I was like, run to the bathroom and call mom. And at that time, she was living in Junction and my dad lived in Parachute. And I was like, calling her. I was like, before it, like, turn around, come back, fucking get me. I'm done. And so she came and got me. And I moved back with mom for a couple weeks. And then I got taken away. I got taken into the system because I just fucking cray. I was struggling. I was having a lot of fucking issues. And the whole time that I was like locked up, my dad really didn't make much of an effort. Like when I would call, phone calls were always fucking weird. When I would write, he wouldn't really write back, you know, for like holidays. Cause I was locked up for fucking 6 years almost. Like here and there, I would get like cards that he would sign, like, love dad. Like, and when I got out of the system, I was just like, I'm kind of how much like you were. I was like, I'm done putting in the effort. I'm not going to ask to see him. I'm not going to call. I'm not like, he has my contact info and we'll see. And he didn't get a hold of me forever. Didn't get a fucking hold of me until I was 5 days away from having my son.
Wow.
Yes. So what happened is me and my best friend, we found out we were pregnant the same day. Our kids are 5 days apart.
And that would have been Haley's.
Yeah. Hey, the day that, yep. So Haley's water breaks and we go to the hospital. And as we're walking through the parking garage, I see my Uncle Bubba's truck. Well, at this point, my Uncle Bubba's been dead for years, so I know who's driving that truck.
Oh.
And it's my dad. And he sees me and he immediately starts honking, waving, and I'm like, go. Motherfucker calls me like 16 times. And I answer and I'm like, my best friend is in fucking labor. Obviously, you've had my fucking number for years.
And now you're giving me
it? And now you want to fucking bug me? Now you want to fucking call me? And he goes, I just found out I have cancer. And I was like, cool, talk to you later. And like hung up. And Haley has her baby. I go home and I was like, okay, maybe this is the change that my dad needs. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe something sincere, you know, because just gotta give him another fucking chance.
Because that's all we're doing is listening for our father.
Yeah. So I reach out to him, and at that point, I'm 5 days away from having a baby. So when he see me in the parking garage, I am pregnant. Did he ask me about my baby once?
No.
Did he even ask me how I was once?
No.
What I had been doing for the last couple of years?
No.
Where I was working?
No.
Where I was living?
No.
If I was married?
No.
Fucking whose baby is that? Not a single fucking question about me.
No.
Not one. Not one fucking question.
Oh. Shocker.
Yeah. He immediately goes in to tell me that they did a biopsy in his lung and he's got like 6 months to live. And I go, and just by the tone of the conversation, I knew that he wasn't trying. He wasn't like, I know I have fucked up. Like it was just pity party. Like he didn't apologize for anything he went through. And I was like, I am sorry that you're dying and you're worried that no one's going to be there for you. I was like, but I have went my whole life begging for you to fucking be here and to fucking care, and you don't. And nothing is going to change in the next 6 months that you're here. And did he apologize?
No.
No. No.
No.
Did he cry?
No.
No. He immediately started cussing me fucking out, saying that my mom is the reason that I'm fucked up because I was abused by my mom's ex-husband. But I literally was like, the first time I was ever sexually fucking diddled as a child was in your fucking house, under your fucking watch, in your fucking care. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you blame anything that I went through as a child on my fucking mom? Because my mom was fucking there. She was there for fucking all of it. And when I sit here and I look back, I was like, my mom has 3 fucking kids. 2 of those fucking kids are felonious, traumatized shitheads. Those same 2 kids are your fucking kids. Her other kid is, I mean, your dad's a fucking shithead, but I mean, you ain't breaking the fucking law. You ain't fucking, you know what I mean, fucking up. And I was like, how dare you? And this motherfucker had the audacity to hang up on me. Okay, I had my son a month away from being 20. I'm 25. How long was my dad supposed to live?
6 months.
And he's well and alive in prison because he didn't even have fucking cancer. When my son was 6 months old, 6 months after that, I've reached out to my dad's dad that also have nothing to fucking do with me. But, you know, trying to try. You know, I want my son to know his family, even though I don't know them. Fucking delusional. And
because I want better for your
yeah. And so I'm talking to my dad's dad, whose name is also Dan.
Good God.
It's a lot of Dans in this story. Jesus, you fucking.
Should we add in our uncle?
Yeah, because my grandpa, my dad's name is Dan. Your dad's name is Dan, and our mom's brother, his Uncle Dan.
Yeah, Uncle Dan.
Oh my God, I wonder how weird it was for mom screaming her brother's name while she was getting fucking slapped by her dad. Do you think she's like, Dan? No.
Oh,
Daniel?
Oh, Daniel. No.
Daddy? No, don't like that. I don't have a good relationship with my dad either. And so obviously the first question I asked, because I mostly reached out to them out of curiosity to figure out what was going on with my dad, you know?
Right.
And they're the like only ones that are like registered sex offenders or active drug addicts because they're fucking 80 years old and strapped up to fucking oxygen. So, like,
I take her.
Yeah. So I'm like, what's up with Vince and his cancer? And they go, what? I'm like, yeah, Vince told me he has fucking stage 4 lung cancer. And they go, no, we don't. I just seen him a couple weeks ago. He hasn't said anything. Dorothy, did he say anything to you about cancer? No? God. Oh, you know your dad. Did he ask you for money? I was like, he didn't get that part.
Yeah.
I was like, I pissed him off way before he even got to that part, I guess.
He probably was going to ask you for some money as you're 5 days away from giving birth to your own child.
This motherfucker. Oh, yeah, because when I went off, I was like, do you know that I'm 9 months pregnant and I'm being induced to have my first child in 5 days?
AKA your grandchild?
Do you know that I'm doing it completely alone? Because I picked a great fucking example for a baby daddy. You know that I'm fucked. And I'm so sad and angry with you and you don't even care. I hope you do get stage 4 lung cancer, motherfucker.
Karma, bitch. I hope it...
Yeah, no, I was so excited when I found out that my dad went to prison because I was like, finally, this motherfucker's been averaging 2 to 3, maybe more fucking jail visits. Guess how long they gave my dad?
A year.
A year. A year. I'm like, this motherfucker been breaking the law.
Well, look at Ethan.
Before White Claw. Like,
look at Ethan. Look at all the chances, man.
I know. That's the one thing that I fucking,
like, imaged.
Yeah, like, as a part of, like, my healing, I decided, like, I'm going to write a letter to my dad, but this motherfucker is never going to see it, just to kind of, like, process, like, my shit and kind of figure out, like, the areas of my growth that I've been stagnant, that I need to figure out where these parts of myself are fucking coming from. And just examining all the parts of my life, and a lot of my shit I can link back to my fucking dad. And I'm like, you did a number, motherfucker. Like, you had an impact and you were barely in my life. And just like your fucking dad, who do you cry about when you get drunk? Papa? Papa, 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 Papa. Yeah, what the fuck? You want money? It is wild to me. I'm like, I still cry for you, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when was the last time you thought about me? When my birthday? You don't even know my son's name.
Or maybe he does from other people.
Maybe I know that he's creeped on things. Because, I mean, and this is how I know I'm done with my dad. Like, I've been doing a lot of healing for fucking years, but it was less than a year ago, but I was doing a lot of journaling and just pinpointing, and was like, I'm going to reach out to my dad. And I reached out to him. I was like, I just thought these last couple years and the last couple times I've talked to you, just being like angry. I was like, but I'm not angry. I'm hurt. And I just want to understand why. I know people don't just decide to become drug addicts. I know people aren't just so angry that they just beat this. Like, I just want to understand. I just want to know. I just want to forgive. Like, and wrote this whole long.
Yeah. Is this when he just sent like the thumbs up?
Yup. Poured my heart out. I was sobbing as I was writing this. It was probably the most deep and real I had been about my feelings, like, related with my dad, and I decided to be vulnerable with him. And he sent me a thumbs up. He didn't like the fucking message. He just hit the fucking thumbs up button and sent me a separate thumbs up. And then the next message that I fucking sent him was a link to, what is it? A trophy father's trophy son. It's a fucking song. By who the fuck is it by? Why are they blanking my mind right now? God damn it. We need to look this up. It's a trophy father's trophy son.
Sleeping with Sirens.
Yeah, Sleeping with Sirens. And I sent him that. And I said, this is the song I'm playing at your funeral when you die. And it is a fucking sad, fucked up song about a piece of shit fucking drunken dad. And that song, that's right, it's got me through some shit. It does. Motherfucker puts me out. And just fucking grieve. Because I'm like, and the thing is when that motherfucker dies, I'm not gonna have any memories to sorrow.
It's gonna be all just bad memories.
Yeah. But I think it'll be a whole different type of grief. The grief of a father I never got to have, and the fact that you're dead and I'll never get that fucking chance. And that, like, but I've done pendulum readings, I've done tarots, I've done everything. And I just know that, like, that man is gonna die how he is. I'm never getting that. And it's just the acceptance of fucking that. And it fucking hurts. And I mean, I'll still cry about it. You guys sat here and watched me fucking cry as I tell, like, fucking stories. So I'm like, damn, I look back on my life and we're trying to sit here and think of, like, things with our dad. And I'm like, I don't really have one good memory with you, motherfucker.
See, and that's something different I can say is I've had a couple good memories with my dad. But it was all when I was younger too.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing now at all. But you didn't really get that. Was your dad?
I remember my dad giving me underdogs at a park once, like when you're swinging a kid and you run under them.
Oh.
I remember that, but I don't remember anything else attached to that memory. Nothing. You know what I mean?
So it's just a split second of happiness.
Mm-hmm. But that one little tiny memory is, like, so burned into my life. I remember it very vividly. I remember the wood chips. I remember You know, like, I just remember just like the air and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's right, because it was the only good memory.
yeah, you know what I mean? That I have with the motherfucker. And it was so impactful.
Oh, that's so sad. So if any of you guys have any father stories you would love to share with us,
Please write in. Let's cry about our fajas.
or sperm donors,
And
your mom,
yeah. And sperm, what do they call
or
it?
egg donors. That's your egg donor right there.
No, I heard this great term once, like a sperm. I don't fucking remember. But fucking tell us. Tell us about your shitty fucking parents. Share your wounds with us.
Yeah, we're sharing ours with you. We love sharing.
Because fucking shitty fucked up parents will make you ask, what the fuck is this?